Today we're going to be talking about macromolecules, the biological molecules that are the building blocks of life. There are lipids, proteins, carbohydrates, and lastly, nucleic acids. First, we're going to start off with an easy one. Carbohydrates. Carbs are composed of carbon, oxygen, and lastly, hydrogen. The simplest form of carbs are monosaccharides. An example of a monosaccharide is shown below, which is glucose. Monosaccharides is split up in mono, meaning one, and saccharides, meaning sugar. There are also disaccharides, which are two monosaccharides put together. A good example of a disaccharide is sucrose. Sucrose is fructose and glucose covalently bonded together. There are also polysaccharides, which are thousands of monosaccharides joined together. Cellulose is a structural compound of plants because it is a good source of energy. There's many glucose molecules joined together. As you can see, the tree is expanding, getting fatter and fatter as lipids begin to take over. Lipids consist of glycerol, fatty acids, and steroid hormones that are insoluble in water because of their nonpolar bonds. Therefore, if water comes in contact with lipids, it cannot dissolve. Next, we have triglycerides, which are lipids with one glycerol molecule bonded with three fatty acid chains. These are covalently bonded together. Triglycerides are found in peanut butter and oil. Lipids are broken up into saturated and unsaturated through single and double bonds. Next, we have proteins. Proteins are composed of 20 building blocks known as amino acids. Proteins are made of amino acids conjoined, creating things called peptide bonds. Peptide bonds between the amino acids are formed by a process that we call dehydration synthesis. As previously mentioned, proteins are the building blocks of life and have 7 main functions. First, we have transport proteins, which carry small molecules and ions across the cell membranes into the body. For example, hemoglobin is a transport protein in the blood that takes oxygen from the lungs to other parts of the body. Next, defensive proteins such as antibodies, which attack foreign microbes. Then there are structural proteins, which make up things such as hair, nails, horns, and feathers. Then there are hormonal proteins that send and receive information about body status to and from the brain. Finally, enzymatic proteins, which facilitate chemical reactions by speeding them up. The last macromolecule we're going to be discussing today is nucleic acids. The most famous nucleic acids are DNA and RNA. DNA is made of monomers called nucleotides, with a sugar phosphate backbone and base pairs. The sugar is called deoxyribose and has 5 carbons and a deoxygenated ribose sugar. Accompanying the backbone is nitrogenous bases. The nitrogenous bases are adenine, thymine, guanine, and cytosine. Adenine pairs with thymine, cytosine pairs with guanine. An individual's DNA is the road to building an organism. The small but long strands code for proteins that build cell function. There are some parts of DNA that don't code for anything. These are called junk DNA. Next, we have RNA. Unlike DNA, RNA has a single helix structure. RNA has a ribose sugar with an OH group attached to it, but does not have a deoxyribose attached to it. RNA also has a phosphate group. The nitrogenous bases are switched in RNA. Thymine is now switched to uracil, and now it is uracil, adenine, guanine, and cytosine. Uracil is used because its structure allows RNA to be short-lived. Thymine needs to be protected because DNA has to last a long time. There are 3 types of RNA that can be found in the body: messenger RNA, transfer RNA, and ribosomal RNA. Below now is the key for our RNA diagrams. Messenger RNA has been transcribed from a strand of DNA in replication. And next, ribosomal RNA is within the ribosomes and regulates protein synthesis. Finally, transfer RNA is folded molecules that transport amino acids from the cytoplasm to the ribosomes. That's it this week on Building Blocks of Life. See you next time.